Imagine a world where civilization has collapsed, cities lie in ruins, and the dead walk freely among the living. Now, picture this. A massive aircraft carrier, steel and firepower stretching as far as the eye can see, floating like a fortress in the endless ocean. It has power, water, medical facilities, weapons, and room for hundreds of people. Sounds like the ultimate safe haven, right? But before you pack your bags and set sail, let's explore the reality. Life aboard an aircraft carrier in a zombie apocalypse isn't just about luxury and safety. It's a delicate balance between unmatched advantages and unique dangers. In this video, we'll break down the pros, the cons, and the brutal truth of surviving on a floating city in a world gone mad. When disaster strikes, most survivors scramble for anything that offers shelter, food, and safety. Some hide in bunkers, others fortify houses, and some roam the streets, scavenging for scraps. But an aircraft carrier? It's a different league entirely. These massive ships were designed to sustain life at sea for months, sometimes years, and are equipped to withstand full-scale warfare. In this breakdown, we'll examine why a carrier could be your dream survival platform, then reveal the pitfalls that could turn your floating fortress into a trap. From power grids to food supplies, from firepower to human threats, we'll cover it all. By the end, you'll know if an aircraft carrier is a true safe haven or just a dangerous fantasy. Let's start with power. Modern carriers, like the Nimitz class, run on nuclear reactors capable of powering the ship for decades without refueling. That's not just lights and air conditioning. We're talking about a fully functioning city at sea. Refrigeration for food, sterilization for medical equipment, heavy machinery for repairs, even gyms and laundries. In a world where survivors are burning the last drops of gasoline and scavenging dead batteries, a carrier offers continuous, reliable energy, and that is a game changer. Electricity becomes more than convenience, it becomes survival. Next up, water. Clean drinking water is life, and an aircraft carrier has that covered with industrial desalination systems. Salt water from the ocean is transformed into endless, safe drinking water. You can shower, cook, and clean without worrying about running dry. While most survivors are rationing drops from contaminated streams or broken pumps, you have a constant supply of fresh water, which alone could make the difference between life and death in a post-apocalyptic world. In a zombie apocalypse, injury and infection can be as deadly as the undead themselves. A scratch, a bite, or even a simple infection can become fatal. On a carrier, that's a problem you can actually solve. Modern carriers have fully equipped medical bays capable of handling trauma, surgeries, and long-term recovery. Sterile operating rooms, trained staff, and stocked pharmaceuticals mean you're not gambling with makeshift amputations or DIY antibiotics. For survival, this is a priceless advantage. Imagine, while others risk their lives scavenging for bandages, you have a hospital at your disposal, ready for anything. Consider space. A carrier isn't just a ship, it's a floating city designed for thousands. Kitchens, sleeping quarters, gyms, machine shops, laundry facilities, storage bays the size of warehouses, it's all here. These ships were built for extended deployments at sea, meaning long-term survival is baked into their design. Hangars can be repurposed into greenhouses, workshops, or training areas. Decks can host hydroponics experiments, and sleeping quarters provide privacy and organization. Compared to scavenging ruins on land, living aboard feels like the deluxe apocalypse package. Let's talk defense. Most safe houses rely on rifles or maybe a shotgun. An aircraft carrier? It's armed with machine guns, anti-aircraft batteries, and sometimes missile systems. Raiders thinking about boarding quickly realize they're facing a fortress, not a house. Add thick armor plating designed to withstand explosions, missiles, and torpedoes, and the undead hordes start to look like a minor inconvenience. The sheer intimidation factor can also keep other survivors away, making it not just a defensive stronghold, but a psychological deterrent. Unlike bunkers, a carrier can move. Trouble brewing near your current location? You lift anchor and sail away. Dangerous ports? rogue gangs, or zombie-infested coastlines aren't a threat if you can simply leave. Add helicopters and small boats, and you've got scouting, resupply, and evacuation options. Few land-based shelters can boast that kind of flexibility. On a carrier, the sea isn't just water. It's a moat, a highway, and a shield all at once. Carriers also pack advanced radar, satellite communication, and long-range sensors. That means early warning against storms, raider fleets, or suspicious activity near the coast. You'll see threats coming long before they reach you. And it's not just about watching the horizon. Global communication allows alliances, sharing resources, or even calling in help. In the apocalypse, knowledge is power, and a carrier gives you an unmatched information advantage. No matter how well stocked, every can of beans or bag of rice eventually runs out. A carrier may float on power and water, but it doesn't grow acres of wheat or vegetables. Hydroponics and deck gardens can supplement, but they can't replace true farmland. Eventually, you'll have to risk docking for supplies, exposing yourself to raiders, zombies, or other dangers. Even the best-equipped floating city has its limits when it comes to food. Aircraft carriers are highly complex machines. Reactors, engines, weapons, desalination plants, they all need trained professionals. Lose a nuclear engineer, medic, or mechanic, and suddenly your fortress loses functionality. In a small survivor group, the odds of having all required skills are slim. Even one missing specialist could render your safe haven a drifting liability. Every time you approach a harbor for resupply, you face potentially life-threatening risks. Narrow channels, exposed decks, and proximity to hostile humans or zombies turn your ship from fortress into target. Even with weapons, these choke points are a nightmare scenario. One bad calculation could be catastrophic. While the carrier itself may run for decades on nuclear power, helicopters, jets, and small boats still rely on limited fossil fuels. Without them, your ability to scout, supply, or evacuate is gone. The floating fortress turns into a drifting prison once fuel runs out. Fires, mutinies, or internal outbreaks can devastate a carrier. Confined spaces amplify danger, and being hundreds of miles from shore makes external assistance impossible. A disaster inside can be deadlier than any zombie attack. Life on steel decks can be lonely. Endless horizon, monotony, and lack of natural environments may lead to cabin fever, depression, or social conflict. In the long term, human minds can break before the undead do. The very visibility of a carrier is a double-edged sword. Its size, generators, and transmissions advertise wealth and resources, drawing pirates, warlords, and organized groups. Human threats often exceed zombie threats, and preparation is not always enough. If you can secure a spot aboard a fully functional carrier with trained crew, abundant supplies, and a solid plan, it's arguably one of the safest post-apocalyptic platforms on Earth. Power, water, weapons, medical care, mobility, and intelligence. You get it all. But this comes with a giant caveat. Long-term success depends on expertise, resource management, and human cohesion. Docking, resupply, fuel shortages, and mental strain are constant threats. Even the most fortified ship can become a steel prison without planning and discipline. So, is a carrier a survival dream? Absolutely, if you have the skills, the crew, and the foresight. For the rest of us, it remains an extraordinary, yet largely unreachable fantasy. If you enjoyed this deep dive into survival strategies, hit like and subscribe for more apocalypse breakdowns every week. Want to follow up? Comment below. Would you rather survive aboard a carrier or a fortified inland compound? Your choice might be our next video, complete with tactical tips and realistic pros and cons. Stay prepared, stay smart, and we'll see you on the next adventure.